Hey guys, happy Wednesday. I wish you all were here with me, but since you're not, I wanted to do a read aloud today and continue talking about New Year's resolutions, goals that we set for ourselves, and how we can personally work to make ourselves better. And having a resolution or having a goal and sticking to it is a good way to make ourselves better. So, since we have been talking about promises that we keep to ourselves, I was going to share this story today called Owen. And maybe as you're listening to it, be thinking about maybe a New Year's resolution that Owen could make in order to make his life a little bit better. Because sometimes making ourselves better just kind of means growing up a little bit. And even though that kind of may be something we don't really want to do as we get older, it's something that we kind of have to do. There's some things that we just have to kind of let go of and leave in the past as we grow up and get a little bit older, a little more mature and that sort of thing. So as you're listening, be thinking about what a good New Year's resolution might be for Owen, the main character, and the story to make. Owen had a fuzzy yellow blanket. He'd had it since he was a baby. He loved it with all of his heart. Oh, it must have been special. Fuzzy goes where I go, said Owen, and Fuzzy did. Upstairs, downstairs, in between, inside, outside, upside down. Fuzzy went everywhere. Fuzzy likes what I like, said Owen. And Fuzzy did. Orange juice, apple juice, chocolate milk, ice cream, peanut butter, applesauce cake. Isn't he getting a little old to be carrying that thing around? Asked Mrs. Tweezers. Haven't you heard of the blanket fairy? Owen's parents hadn't. Mrs. Tweezers filled them in. It's their neighbor. Well, that night, Owen's parents told Owen to put Fuzzy under his pillow. In the morning, Fuzzy would be gone. But the blanket fairy would leave an absolutely wonderful, positively perfect, especially terrific, big boy gift in its place. He doesn't look so sure about it, does he? Owen stuffed Fuzzy inside his pajama pants and went to sleep. I think he's trying to protect Fuzzy. No blanket fairy, said Owen in the morning. No kidding, said Owen's mother. No wonder, said Owen's father when he saw where Fuzzy had been hidden. Fuzzy's dirty, said Owen's mother. Fuzzy's torn and tattered, said Owen's father. No, said Owen. Fuzzy is perfect. And Fuzzy was. What are y'all talking about? Fuzzy is absolutely wonderful. Fuzzy played Captain Plunger with Owen in the bathroom. Fuzzy helped Owen become invisible. He wasn't really invisible, but when he put Fuzzy over his head, he thought he was invisible. Bet you can't see me is what this says. Oh, but we can. And Fuzzy was essential when it came to nail clippings and haircuts and trips to the dentist. Can't be a baby forever, said Mrs. Tweezers. Haven't you heard of the vinegar trick? Owen's parents hadn't. Mrs. Tweezers filled them in. When Owen wasn't looking, his father dipped Owen's favorite corner of fuzzy into a jar of vinegar. Owen sniffed it and smelled it. He sniffed it again. He picked a new favorite corner. Then he rubbed the smelly corner all over his sandbox, buried it in the garden, and dug it up again. Good as new, said Owen. Fuzzy wasn't very fuzzy anymore, but Owen didn't mind. He carried it and wore it and dragged it. He sucked it and hugged it and twisted it. What are we going to do? Asked Owen's mother. School is starting soon, said Owen's father. Can't bring a blanket to school, said Mrs. Tweezers. Haven't you heard of saying no? Owen's parents hadn't. Mrs. Tweezers filled them in. I have to bring Fuzzy to school, said Owen. No, said Owen's mother. No, said Owen's father. Owen buried his face in Fuzzy. He started to cry and would not stop. Don't worry, said Owen's mother. It'll be all right, said Owen's father. And then suddenly Owen's mother said, I have an idea. It was an absolutely wonderful, positively perfect, especially terrific idea. First, Mama snipped, and then she sewed. Then she snipped again and sewed some more. Even Father was like, oh no, I can't look. What are you doing? Snip, 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 sew, sew, sew. Dry your eyes, wipe your nose. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Now, Owen carries one of his not-so-fuzzy handkerchiefs with him wherever he goes. Looks like Mama had a pretty good idea. She took his blanket and cut it into several small pieces and made them handkerchiefs. Because a handkerchief is easier to carry than a blanket. And Mrs. Tweezers doesn't say a thing. Cool. Well, as you can see, Owen was extremely attached to his blankie. But we know that when you started to kindergarten and first grade, there are certain special toys that I think we all have that we just can't bring with us. Were there any New Year's resolutions that you could think of that might help Owen in growing up a bit? One thing that came to my mind, his mama had a great idea when she took the one big blanket and then cut it into smaller pieces. He still had a small piece of it which gave him comfort, and he knew that it came from Fuzzy because he watched her. He knew where it came from. And he was okay with that. He knew that it was still a small piece of something that was really big that he still really loved. So maybe a resolution might be that maybe he's okay with just carrying a handkerchief each day for a month or two. And then maybe he could take a handkerchief to school maybe every other day. See if he can make it 1 or 2 days without it. And then who knows, by the end of the year, if he sticks to it, because it's important. He might not have to carry the blanket, the handkerchief, or anything like that by the end of the year because he will have matured into being, a bigger boy. So I want you to think positive and still continue to think about goals that you can set for yourself in 2021 in hopes that we can make ourselves better. I think you're all pretty awesome already. But if there is something that is important to you, maybe it's tying your shoes. Maybe it's riding a bicycle with no training wheels. Maybe it's doing a cartwheel or a split. Whatever it is that is important to you, I want you to do your best, give it your all. And I will see you soon. Bye.